We just landed on the moon in a Lambo, taking pictures with the zoom and the angle. We'll be coming back to you with the same pulse. Our predictions come soon with a halo. Questioning myself if I believe it though. No longer question if I'm really a believer though. Now you should take into account that my account can build my belief. Take into account I must account for what I really think. Being in the space I learned to see. I only ever make what every day I can't believe. I gotta go. It's the only life I know. I believe it in my mind, so I know it's time to show. It's the only vibe to go. I do believe it. Do you believe it? I said, are you a believer till the end? When your funds are low, can you believe in it again? No longer ever questioning yourself if you believe it though. You never questioning yourself if you believe it though. You know this deal, please don't take the L. Never taking no L's if the Lord helps me, oh Lord. Never taking no L's, so I stay with me so long. Never taking no L's, if the team with me, oh Lord. Never taking no L's, so I stay as he grows. We just landed on the moon in a Lambo, taking pictures with the zoom and the angle. We'll be coming back to you with the same pulse. Our predictions come soon with a halo.
All right. Hello, crypto family. Hello, Tokemetrics family. Happy Monday. Back at it again. Hope you're all doing well. The market is still bearish. but we're not in a bear market. So I'm here to show you different strategies on how you can survive and earn passive yield in bear markets, including how to earn passive yield using TMAI. So if you're a TMAI token holder, stay tuned. This is going to be quite the live stream for you. All right, so hope you're all doing well. Let's do the audience welcome. First up, we have Bitcoin 2020 in the house. What's up? The yarn? Yes, I'm up. Busy day, but always up and early. Teep, what's up in the house? Hey, Tyler, good to see you here. Andrew in the house. BK Crypto, representing Brooklyn. Red for Danger, good to see you here. Adrian, Woj, worst bull run ever. Yeah, things have been rocky. This has definitely been a very, very different bull run. We've not had the traditional altcoin season everybody's waiting for, but there's still money to be made in crypto. Yes, Tom, we do have a new logo. Well, we launched the logo last year, but definitely new logo. But yes, the market is bearish, but there's still money to be made, especially passive money, passive yield. So let's hop straight into it. As usual, go to menti.com. That's MENTI.com. Put in the code 55830767, or just scan this QR code to submit your questions that you want me to answer during this live stream after I go through the quick market update. But yes, the question of this live stream is crypto ever going to bounce back? People have been waiting for crypto to bounce back. The market has been choppy. It's going sideways. We thought this was going to go to the moon and beyond. What exactly is going on? Well, we're here to give you the alpha, but also the analysis. So we'll hop straight into it. First off, if you haven't heard of us by now, I don't know how you've not. Check us out. Go to tokenmetrics.com. We provide, let me just pull up our website here. We provide basically crypto analytics, research, and alpha. And we're also launching AI indices. We recently just made our data available to anybody out there who's building, whether you're a developer, quant, if you're building trading agents, and we're now making this available even to non-developers. I'll get into that shortly. But anyway, actually a few admin things I need to handle before we hop into the market update, especially if you're a TMAI token holder. First thing first, we'll hop straight into it. We partnered with this new platform called Merkle, that's MERKLE, to launch an LP incentives program, which means basically if you're a liquidity provider for Token Metrics, TMAI, you can earn yield for simply holding TMAI. We posted this on our X. I'll pull this up here. But basically, you can come here. The platform is merkle.xyz. Just come in here, search for TMAI, which is our token. And these are the APRs. So basically, if you're a liquidity provider, we'll start with the biggest one, which is Aerodrome. It's the main DEX, the biggest liquidity DEX on Base. If you provide liquidity here, you can earn 342% APR. This updates dynamically in real time. It was actually higher when we launched, but we've put aside, this is kind of a test run for us to see how well this goes for about 2 weeks. But we're giving away more than $1,000 in rewards daily in this liquidity pool, right? The way it works is you come here. Let me actually put the link in the chat. Just give me a second here. So you guys can go straight to it. But let me just do a quick overview, because we are talking about how to earn yield passively in a bearish trend, right? If the market's not doing too good, if things aren't doing 10x or 100x, you can come here. And basically, the cool thing with this platform, it's a relatively new platform, but well-known, good fundamentals, backed by A16Z. Uniswap, ZK Sync, and some other large protocols have run their LP programs on here. That's how we kind of came across this. But basically, you can come here directly. It gives you the real-time APR. It shows you the TVL. So in this pool of Wrap, ETH, and TMAI, you can earn this much, right? So here we have basically 15 people splitting these rewards. Now, there are only 10 days left, but the cool thing is it shows you basically the breakdown of the yield, the APR on a daily basis. If this goes well, we'll extend this for a longer time period, probably for a quarter, but we do want to kind of keep on creating these incentives over the course of the next year or so as a way to kind of boost TVL and liquidity, because that's something people have been asking for. But definitely check it out. You come here, you click supply, and it will take you directly to the place to provide liquidity and to start earning yield, right? So this here is the Aerodrome liquidity pool. Now, because these are DEXs, you do have to provide both sides of the liquidity. So in this case, if you already have TMAI, you would have to provide wrapped ETH. Now, the way this pool works is it's 50-50% liquidity pool. And everything is transparent here, right? So in this case, we have over 16 million TMAI allocated, which is about 16K we have allocated. And it's given out pro rata to the percentage ownership you have in the liquidity pool. If you're already providing liquidity on this pool, you don't have to do anything. The tokens will just be airdropped passively into your wallet, right? So if you're already part of this airdrop pool, you're fine. But this is just one of the campaigns. If we go back here, we have the Uniswap pool. So when we launched this on Thursday, there was only about 10K in TVL. So the TVL has basically done a 10X already. And the yields initially, because it's first come, first serve, were about 1,000%. This is TMAI tokens, right? So if you want to accumulate TMAI, not financial advice, but if you want to accumulate TMAI, this has been a great way of doing that, right? And right now, this is also earning about over $1,000 worth of TMAI being split amongst everybody in this pool, right? So this is different in the sense that this is a pool on Uniswap. So if you want to provide liquidity on Uniswap, which is something our community has been asking for, you can come and do it directly here, right? We've spoken to the Merkle team. They're having some issues with the on-chain subgraph updating, but don't worry about it. Tokens are being distributed to people in the pool. People will receive their tokens. And this is 330% APR. And this is almost 15K available being split by people in this pool. And then the third pool we've launched, the one for Uniswap, you do have to provide USDC and TMAI 50-50. But let's say you have mainly TMAI, you don't have enough wrapped ETH or enough USDC. Guess what? You can also provide liquidity in the balancer pool. The cool thing with balancer is their pools don't have to be 50-50, right? Meaning that if you have $1,000 of TMAI with other pools, you have to put up $1,000 of USDC or wrapped ETH. With the balancer pool, it's the opposite. So here we have about 5.5K being split currently between 18 people, right? So if you definitely want to earn more, right now it is the highest APR pool because it has the lowest liquidity. This started at about 10K TVL. It's done a 3X since Thursday. But if you come here to Balancer, you can just click the link to go straight to that OP pool. This one is 95.5 wrapped ETH, meaning that you can literally provide 95% TMAI and only 5% wrapped ETH. So you don't have to do 50-50 and still earn yield, right? So highly encourage you to go check it out. If you're looking for a passive way to earn yield on your TMAI tokens or to earn more TMAI passively, definitely check it out. Can you deposit TMAI into the pool? Yes. You do have to balance out. If you've ever been an LP or liquidity provider on any DEX like Uniswap, it's the same thing, right? You basically deposit both pairs. So for Balancer, it's 95% TMAI, 5% wrapped ETH. So it's more skewed TMAI for those who don't want to put up as much wrapped ETH. But this is the passive yield available to be earned. Definitely wanted to share this with people. As you can see, the LP pool on Uniswap has done a 10X since Thursday. And these are the rewards happening. Our goal is to get the total TVL to be over 1 million, especially in the pool on Uniswap, because once we do that, we can then create a decentralized credit market for TMAI token holders. What does that mean? One of the projects we love, we've covered this, it's called Morphle, right? It's kind of like we're heading into DeFi 3.0. We had the first version of DeFi, then we had basically DeFi summer back in the day, then we had DeFi 2.0, and now we're really getting blue chip institutional grade protocols that are launching. We've covered this before, but basically this is kind of like Aave. For those of you who are aware of Aave, it's basically a money market account. You can come here and borrow crypto or lend crypto to earn passive yield. But why is this so special? Don't we already have Aave? While Aave is great, Aave is permissioned. It's not permissionless, which means that any asset being listed on Aave has to pass governance. The DAO has to vote. So the DAO is basically gatekeeping. Because if you go to DeFi Llama, and we'll go to lending, so I'll open this up in a different tab. But this is where the future of DeFi and crypto is going, right? If we go to DeFi, over $50 billion is in lending in DeFi. Not just DeFi, but the lending sector. Basically, half of DeFi is lending, crypto lending. And king of the hill, the gorilla in the room, has always been Aave. Aave currently has about almost 25 billion TVL. So literally 25% of the market in lending is Aave. That's great, but guess what? Most altcoins are not on Aave because Aave is gatekeeping. So that's why you have all these new entrants entering the space, such as Morpho. One we also like is Euler. We've covered them before. They have something pretty cool called Euler Swap. I'll touch on that briefly as well. But Morpho is the one to keep an eye on. Why have they come out of nowhere? It's basically Aave, except all the altcoins, all the people that want to get their altcoins into a lending market, they can do it on Morpho without having to get a bajillion votes via the DAO. Why is this vital? Because when the crypto market bounces back, the last thing you want to do is sell your crypto. You don't want to sell your Bitcoin. You don't want to sell your ETH. I mean, heck, I don't want to ever sell my TMAI token. Right? I'm all in. I haven't sold any, but I want to take some money off the table when crypto goes up. How do you do that? Right? What they do in equities is you borrow against your crypto. But how do you borrow against your altcoins? Because right now, like even last cycle, yes, there were platforms like Celsius, BlockFi, where you could borrow against your Bitcoin or ETH, but all those entities were centralized. We saw what happens. Those entities can go under. You can lose money. Yes, you're earning yield, but you never want to, at least for me, put your capital into a centralized entity because anything can happen. That's the power of DeFi. DeFi is purely decentralized. That's the ethos of crypto. But then you kind of had this catch-22 where Aave is trying to manage risk by gatekeeping what tokens can be listed. So that's why you're having, in my opinion, two money market accounts or platforms. Morpho and Euler are the ones I'll be keeping an eye on. Very bullish on them, but you can basically borrow against your crypto. Now, they do have risk parameters. So going back to Morpho here, right? You can come here, connect. They have all these assets. So let's say you wanted to borrow, let's say you have ETH, right? Actually, let's do this. Let's say you have Chainlink. You're bullish on Chainlink. You want Chainlink. You think Chainlink's going to go to the moon and beyond, but you need some liquidity. You can literally come here and borrow stablecoins on your Chainlink, right? So the way this would work is, let's say we supply 1,000 Chainlink. This would be $14,000 worth of Chainlink. Okay, so there's not much liquidity in this market here. We see this has slightly under 12K. Market size is about 42K. So this is actually pretty, not that liquid market. But anyway, this, you guys kind of get the idea, right? And you would be paying about 13% borrow rate on this over the course of a year. But it's a way to get liquidity from your crypto without having to sell your crypto. Because when you borrow against your crypto, you avoid paying taxes legally, right? What does that look like? So let's say you have in this case, $14,000 worth of Link. You could borrow. Honestly, I'll keep it low. I'll keep it under 25% LTV. So we come here. Let's say 3,500. Okay, this is not updating. Okay, looks like I do have to connect my wallet, which I did not want to do. Let's see. Let me see if I have a dummy wallet. Okay, anyway. Unfortunately, we can't do that for the demo. But anyway, you can come here, borrow against your crypto. Now, why I also like Euler, which is a competing platform. I'll open this up here. This is a project actually from last cycle. They were hacked, but they had a bounce back. They have more altcoins, right? If you come here, go to the website. I think I've also covered this before on a prior live stream. But anyway, this is the way to earn passive yield in crypto. And for our token holders, we are working on creating a money market where people don't have to sell TMAI because one, it helps you avoid legally creating a taxable event when you sell your crypto or TMAI. Two, if your crypto ever goes to the moon, kind of like with every cycle, you don't be the person that sold Bitcoin at $100 or $1,000 or $10,000. And now if Bitcoin is at 100K, yes, the price is up. But if Bitcoin goes to a million or 10 million, hindsight is 2020. But why sell when you can just borrow against it and keep the upside? That's what the rich do. That's what Elon Musk does. That's what most Fortune 500 CEOs do. They don't sell their stock. They just borrow against it. And now crypto is creating these money markets where the same thing can be done. And one to make this available to all TMAI token holders. It does take some time. We do have to boost up the TVL and liquidity for both Euler and Morphle. But we are working on this actively, hence the liquidity program incentives we've launched. So highly encourage you to go check it out, earn some passive yield. After 2 weeks, we'll evaluate. But I think so far things have gone very, very well. So we likely will continue this rewards program for at least, I would say, 3 months or longer, probably till end of the year. So highly encourage you to go check it out. Okay, so that's the first announcement. And next one, we know people have been asking for more exchanges, and we have exchanges in the works. Tokenmetrics, TMAI, will be listed on Bitmart token or exchange beginning tomorrow. So let me actually pull up, is it ICO Analytics? This is, I would say, primarily an Asian exchange, but we're slowly adding more liquidity venues for TMAI. And what I want to pull up actually is it ICO Analytics? Okay, yeah. So this, I like this platform or this Telegram, but they also have a Twitter where they show you the top crypto exchanges in the world based on web traffic. So the different ways you can measure traffic or liquidity to a crypto exchange. One way I like to kind of look at it is based on just traffic in general. Right. So obviously we know the big ones are Binance, Coinbase. Whitebit is always here in the top 3, top 5. I don't know anybody using Whitebit. I think it might be more Eastern European or Russian. But why I'm bringing this up, TMAI is already listed on MEXC, which is top 5 based on web traffic. Gate, which is number 9 based on web traffic, and now Bitmart. So TMAI is going to be listed on 3 of the top 10 crypto exchanges. We also are listed on Bitpanda. So you could say basically 4 of the top 15. And we do have more exchanges in the works, but just want to kind of share that out there. So we're making the token available on multiple venues for those in different regions. And okay, so that's the second announcement. So that's happening tomorrow. If I go back to this, and then for developers, so we launched our Tokenmetrics API and SDK, but not everybody is a developer. So I think this is pretty cool. If we go to, so if anybody out there has used AI coding tools like OpenAI Agent SDK, this is probably more for developers. I would say Claude Cursor, Windsurf, guess what? We have a Tokenmetrics MCP, which is really just a way of saying we've created a protocol where you can tap into our data, just get an API key, and use AI to build stuff with our data. That being a developer. What does that look like? So we posted this cool video. For anybody who's used Claude, let me play this real quick. So basically, they connected to our API, and boom, they had Claude AI build this dashboard using Tokenmetrics data. I think that's pretty cool. Just go to tokenmetrics.com/API, get your API key. It's that simple. Let me actually just walk people directly through it, because if you come here, you can also just go to Developers API, which will take you to the API dashboard. Here, you come to API keys. You can create your API key. Actually, we should make this maybe even easier. But yeah, just come here, create your API key. And if you go to documentation, you can come here to, we have guides, but you can also just come here to see all the different endpoints we have, right? So whether you want to get tokens, our investor grades, trader grades, AI reports, our AI agent, the chatbot. So pretty much most of the data on Tokenmetrics is available to both developers, but if you're not a developer, you can just directly in Cursor and even Chat GPT, just connect, just search for Tokenmetrics MCP. Actually, I think we got a link to that. And let me just write all this down. Just give me 1 second. I'm going to tell the team to add I think it might be easier just to add the link to the menu and the documentation for some people who haven't done this for the first time. But yeah, so you come here and create your API key. And in Claude is an option. I think if you just search for Tokenmetrics in Claude and the different tools you're on. And I think, yeah, you can also come here and just search for Tokenmetrics MCP. Like this is one of the links. And then Tokenmetrics will pop up. But anyway, just wanted to share that. Pretty cool way for those who are not developers to still leverage our API and data. All right, so enough with the updates. Let's go to the trending coins of the week and see what people are saying. Okay, so trending coins of the week. So we have Ethereum, we have Bitcoin, we have Virtuals, Tokenmetrics AI, Bankacoin, and Vader. These are the different options we kind of curated based on the platform and traffic and what people are searching. So let's quickly go through all those tokens. So let me close some of these tabs here. Okay, so let us start with Ethereum. Ethereum has had a pretty nice comeback. A lot of people thought it was dead, myself included, but eventually the signal flipped bullish. So let's take a look, because initially it was bullish, last bullish back in November 6th, turned bearish December 24th, Christmas Eve, and basically just went down. A lot of people were saying it was the end. They were roasting the Ethereum Foundation. Then May 1st, 1,850, it flipped bullish, and it's been going up. ETH has gone up only 3% in the last 30 days, but it's gone up more over the last 2 months. But the trading signal is declining. We can see here right now it's neutral. Right now it's wait and see. Basically, take it easy. Don't necessarily buy. Don't necessarily sell. Basically, just be patient. Don't do anything in essence. If you're in, wait and see. If you're in the sidelines, wait and see. It's not the first token I would gravitate to, but I do think things are just getting better for ETH, especially with the growth we're seeing now in DeFi again. That's why I called it DeFi 3.0 in a way. It's definitely making a comeback. Now, if we go to Bitcoin, Bitcoin is still a strong buy. Our signals have been bullish since 85K. Bitcoin is currently at 108K. Trader grade is strong buy, up almost 14% in the last 24 hours. It is looking good for Bitcoin. So while the market might be bearish, while we might be in a bearish trend, holding Bitcoin right now is good. But let's kind of tie the two together. Let's say you're bullish on ETH, you're bullish on BTC. A lot of people are actually not holding Bitcoin in Bitcoin. They're holding Bitcoin in wrapped Bitcoin, which is really just wrapped Bitcoin on ETH. It's an ERC20 token. So if we just come here, it's going to have the same signal, maybe a slight lag. Actually, we don't add signals for wrapped tokens. Although this one, we actually should make an exception. But I'll just treat it the same, right? But why does this matter? So go back to the title of the show, how to earn yield in bearish trends. If the market as a whole, basically altcoins are bearish, but Bitcoin is great, you want to be holding Bitcoin, wrap Bitcoin in this instance, right? Why wrap Bitcoin? Because you can earn yield. So I mentioned Morphle, I mentioned Euler, or somebody's saying it's pronounced Euler. My bad. Euler. Well, if you go to these platforms, let's actually go back. You can literally just deposit your wrapped Bitcoin and earn yield, right? So initially I was showing borrow, but let's go to earn, right? Let's say we want to deposit WBTC. How much money can we earn on our wrapped Bitcoin? So actually, honestly, not so much. It's not looking so good here. This is very, very low. I was expecting something better. Let's try Euler Finance. This is why you have to kind of shop around. But I do have a good way for you guys to shop around without having to shop around. But let's just come here to Euler. Let's go to borrow. Actually, not borrow. I'm sorry, lend. And we'll do route BTC. And we can see the rates are not so good. We're trying to make more money than this. But one project we covered some time back that kind of automates this whole yield forming for you is called Superform. I will drop the superform.xyz, but basically they have what they call super vaults. Now, actually, I haven't checked if they have wrapped BTC. Again, not saying wrapped BTC, but anyway, they have a lot of vaults where you can earn passive yield on your crypto, right? Especially stablecoins, right? Think of this kind of like as opposed to putting money into a fiat bank account and earning very little yield. Some banks typically would pay 4% or less. Some don't even pay you anything. Well, you can come here and deposit crypto and earn, I think the highest is about 7%, but I would say 6 to 7%. So here, if you deposit USDC, they basically help automate different vaults for you across different providers. So in this case, we have Morpho, we have Euler, Fluid, and Aave. Think of this kind of like a robo-advisor that will optimize to get you the best yield across all these different lending protocols. So encourage you to check this out because it might seem small, but if the market is going, if we could just go back to where the market is and was, because sometimes it's very challenging to sit on the sidelines and do nothing, right? Especially if you have a big portfolio or if you just have ADD and you just want to do something. Because just think about this. This signal turned bearish January 18th at 3.8 trillion. And we basically just went down. We didn't really start coming back up until April. So that's basically 3-4 months. So do you want to be in the market when it's going down, trying to over trade, or do you want to be on the sidelines? Well, it's tough to be on the sidelines just in cash. Well, now you have different ways of earning yield in a bearish trend when you're on the sidelines. We talked about yield farming with Merkle, like TMAI, where you're earning right now 300% or more on just TMAI as an LP. Oops. Or you can come to these protocols. Or if you don't have time for that, you can come to a platform like this and just deposit your capital. Because earning 7% over 4 months beats taking a 50% drawdown on your crypto. But this is where you kind of begin to stack different blocks of DeFi. They're basically Lego blocks, right? So let's say you have TMAI, but you don't want to sell your TMAI because let's be honest, let's actually pull up tokenomics ourselves here. Yeah, like this is what literally I would do. I'm not doing this now, but I'm just kind of going through this, right? So yeah, so TMAI peaked all the way back in December, but let's say I'm bullish on TMAI. I think it's going to go to the moon and beyond, and I don't want to sell TMAI ever, unless really, really need to. But I obviously want to realize some liquidity. I want some realized. Well, actually, we won't say realized gains because that's a taxable event. We want some money off the table. This is where all these different DeFi protocols kind of begin to stack up, right? So imagine this is on Morpho or Euler or any other money market. Let's say I have $1 million in TMAI. I can go to a protocol like Morpho once we launch the money market, borrow against my TMAI. Basically, I lock it up. Initially, because it's an altcoin, I believe the recommended LTV will be very, very low. But let's say something like 20%. So you put up $1 million in TMAI and you borrow 200K in USDC stablecoin. Not all the money, but it's good enough to take some money off the table where you feel like you made something. And you still have your bag, your moon bag, for later, in case it ever does 100x or more. But then what do you do with that stablecoin? Do you cash it out to your bank account? I might do kind of like a basket approach where maybe 25% goes to a bank account. A platform I love that I recommend a lot, I can't stop speaking enough about this, is called Sphere Pay. So they claim you can send money anywhere, but the whole point of this platform, it ties your bank account to a crypto wallet. I'll drop the link in the chat, but this is one of the best things I've been using in crypto this year. When I say they tie your bank account to a crypto wallet, they make it super easy to cash out using stablecoins. And they can accept up to $20 million in one transaction. What does that mean? So let's take that example. If you have $1 million TMAI, you put it onto Morpho, Euler, you borrowed against it about 20%. So you have 200K. Let's say 50K you send to your USDC, basically your Ethereum crypto wallet. They support both ETH and SOL crypto wallets. They give you a crypto address. You connect it to your bank account. It could be Chase, Bank of America, Mercury, like we do with tokenomics. And you can literally, without even looking, just wire the 50K in USDC to that address, and it will auto convert it to cash in your bank account. So as opposed to having to go to a crypto exchange and sell and wait for the transaction to confirm and all this. So literally, you can send 50K and have it end up in your bank account in less than an hour. Beautiful, beautiful user experience. Highly encourage you to check it out. There's some other platforms as well, but this is the one I've used. This one I personally use. Fastest way to cash out in crypto. So let's say you put a quarter into your fiat bank account using this platform. You just send the stable coins. And you can put the other back to earn just passive yield. So I was talking about Superform. You can literally just put 50K here. And after, this actually, do they have, let me just click this. Yeah, so you can come here and just see the yield, right? So earning 7% is going to beat whatever you're earning in a savings account. There was one other platform. Let me just try to find this. Give me 1 minute. Okay, the other platform. Now, this I've not used. This is very, very brand new. Super risky, but it is crypto. Everything comes with risk. They had a fundraise this week, so this kind of got my attention. But it's called Infinify. They claim to be better than banks because you can earn more yield. Now, the concept, they're taking the traditional concept of fractional reserve banking and applying it to crypto. Now, for those of you who know the concept in banking, basically, when you put money in your bank account, they assume that not everybody's going to need that money immediately the next day, right? So let's say you have 100 people that deposit $1 in a bank account. They know they don't need to have $100 available tomorrow for you to withdraw at the ATM or inside the bank. Unless there's a black swan event, which is called a run on the bank happens, they know maybe on average, maybe at most 10% of the available assets are ever withdrawn in a day. So guess what the bank does? They only keep 10% of the assets available. They'll put the other 90% and invest it. They'll put it in treasury bills. They'll lend it out to entrepreneurs, commercial developers, earn yield on it, earn an ROI on it. And basically, they don't really share that with you, if any. Most will just share about 4% of that with you. Well, they're taking the same concept, except they're sharing it with you, right? So to kind of go through my understanding of this, because they claim they can get up to 8.5% on stablecoins, maybe even more. So we'll go here. We'll go to deposit. So let's say I have 50K in that example. You can come here and they're giving out about 7%. Now they have something else they call locking, where you basically kind of stake your stable coins. So let's say we have 50K. Let's say we put 50K in Superflow, 50K into our bank account via Sphere Pay. We have 100K left. We put maybe 50 more K into something like this. So rather than just depositing it, you can choose an exit timer. So let's say it's 8 weeks. Let's say you know you have stable coins, but you don't need access to them for 2 months. You can come here and they claim to basically give you 14% on this. And projected earnings, if you put in, this is over the course of a year, so not quite the 8%. But basically, you can earn about 7K just putting assets here. And you're probably wondering, how does this work? Isn't this just one big Ponzi scheme? It's a little risky, to be honest, but it is DeFi. There's a lot of risk in DeFi. But what they claim to do is, if you come back here, if I could find their page. Um, Actually, I think the example they had for this was on Twitter. Because it will be kind of nice to show the diagram for this. Um, okay, maybe you're not finding the diagram. But I'll just kind of explain the premise of the idea, right? So you have two borrowers. So we'll just go back to this. So all they're basically doing is you have two people that want to lend money. They assume not everybody is going to want to withdraw their crypto or stablecoins within a day, and they lock it up or they invest it into other yield bearing assets, right? So think like Superform, think like Morphle, think like Pendo Finance. I didn't even talk about Pendo, a very blue chip protocol. Basically, they invested into these protocols, earn yield, and they pay the yield. And they have two vaults, one for people that deposit their assets and would like them ASAP, and those that are fine locking them up for a long period of time and earning yield on that. So the kind of more riskier strategies. Think of one kind of like as a savings account vault, and one other vault more like treasury bills or like an index fund. But they don't put everybody that puts the money into the savings vault because they know you don't have to have 100% available within a day. Some people might put it there, but within a week would be fine for them, right? Because they know maybe on average about 10% is needed. So they'll take maybe about 30% and put in a savings vault, and the rest they put that into the riskier. When I say riskier, it's not really risky, but riskier compared to stablecoins. All right. So one platform we haven't even covered yet, Pendo Finance. This actually, as it just pulls up, let's actually find how they're doing on tokenmetrics. Okay, yeah, so Pendo's is actually doing pretty well. We can see here it's been bullish since March 23rd. It's gone from 284 to 424, so up almost $2. It's been a moderate investment, but one of the leaders when it comes to DeFi and earning passive yield, right? Basically, as you see here, they enable the tokenization and trading of future yield. So this is where like DeFi is getting very, very advanced, where we're stacking different innovations to innovate even more. Some might call this financial engineering, but I think it's moving the crypto market forward to a level where institutional capital can now flow into DeFi because they're creating all these advanced instruments. So if we go back to this Pendo here, let's just take a look at Pendo real quick. I think they crossed, yeah, so there's almost 5 billion of capital in Pendo. So this is actually under the yield category on DeFi Llama. And it is number one. It's the number one place to go for yield. Now, I'm not used Pendo, but I know of it and the principle. But let's actually maybe just pull up the website here. But the idea is you have two kinds of investors. Those that want very basic returns, basically they just want to earn 6-7% on their stable coins. nothing fancy, right? If we're in a bearish trend right now, that's all they want. Then you have those investors that have higher appetite for risk. They want to earn 30%, 50%, 100% or more, right? Kind of like our LP pool. Well, what if you could take that yield and split it up to cater to both investors? That's what Pendo is doing, right? Now, we do also want to create a Pendo market for TMAI eventually. But the idea is, so let's take, for example, the pool we had. If we come here, so let's say we prolong this liquidity pool program for 12 months. Let's say 6 to 12 months, because that's typically the time frame for a Pendo vault, right? So this is earning 333% APR. And you basically, anybody that's holding this LP token earns that yield. So once there's enough TVL, this is why TVL is the king of DeFi, hence why we're doing this incentives program to boost TVL, because I think you might need to have like 2 to 3 million in TVL, let's say heck even 5 million in TVL to launch a market on Pendo. So imagine we have 5 million TVL in here. You basically create a listing on Pendo to liberate the yield, right? So you have 2 tokens, the principal token, I believe is the name, and the yield token. And basically, one is a fixed yield. So in this example here, this is using principal token AUSDC. Then you have USDC, another stablecoin from, I think that's Sonic. Yeah, Sonic. And basically, you can come here and get a fixed yield of 7%, if I'm reading this right, on Pendo. Now, it's become kind of the go-to DeFi platform for institutional LPs. And then those that want to speculate can come here and, yeah, if we go to markets, so we have here stablecoins, the top fixed APY markets, as high as 13%, all the way to 12%. Then here we have trending markets. So you can come here and literally buy fixed yield of other assets. Now, it does get pretty advanced and complicated for a newbie or normie, but just kind of want to show you that what's available. Basically, we're just stacking different innovations on different innovations. But all these are ways of earning yield passively in crypto. Okay, I've kind of gone on for a lot. If we go back, we had some other tokens to cover. I'll just kind of go quick. Virtuals, we covered this last week. Virtuals has just been on a run with their Virgin Points program. It's been trending. They're launching a new AI agent for smart contract auditing on Ethereum. So it's done pretty well. This has been a holding we've had for a bit. We actually never saw this during the crash, and now it's slowly coming back. Oh wow, surprisingly, I'm seeing it turn bullish recently. Okay, yeah, I was not aware of that one, but it's still trending. So I would just be cautious. We can see here it's done almost a 20x in the last 1 year. Definitely one of those blue chip projects. If we go to their X profile here, just to show the big announcement they have, they're partnering with the Ethereum Foundation. They're posting about this. As you see here, Ethereum is for AI. But the actual, I thought there was an actual post, not just a video, to go with this. But yeah, I would just keep an eye on this. They're coming on Ethereum. So keep an eye on virtuals. It's showing bullish, so I'll just be cautious. And then the other tokens, if you're looking for more degen based on our ratings, you have Vader AI up about 11%. It's an AI agent on base, on virtuals. We can see here it's a strong buy, 91% trader grade, up 22% in the last 24 hours. FTV is under 50 million and market cap. So high risk, potentially high reward play. It's up about 4x in 6 months. It's been bullish since April 20th, and it's still going up. Now, let's actually see what's causing it to turn super bullish. Let's go to their X as well. Okay, I see somebody has a super chat. I'll get to that shortly. Okay, so I see they're launching a yapping program. I'm guessing this is on. Okay, it's going to virtual's yappers. So that's why it's going up. Yeah, I think if you're looking for a sniper trade in this market, this is not bad. It's low cap, AI, technicals are bullish. I wouldn't put more than 1% into any trade, so I'll just be cautious. The other low cap DJ play worth looking into, Banker Coin, also an AI agent, strong buy. FTV is even lower, and market cap is under 40 million. Also on base. So the base ecosystem is just doing very, very well for AI agents because of virtual. It's up about 50% in the last 1 week. So there's something brewing here since May 8th. And let's see what's causing this to trend upwards. Yeah, so this is actually BankerBot. I believe this lets you create a crypto wallet using Twitter or X. You can just tag it, and it creates or launches a coin, if I'm not mistaken. Now, I don't know why it's trending up. But we'll have to figure that out. But I'm guessing there's something happening in the news here. I see top 10 AI agents by Mindshare in the last 24 hours, according to Cookie.fun. So I'm guessing they're getting a lot of traction this week. They're giving away 450 million Banker to Banker Club members. Okay, looks like they announced something. And then number fourth token in Mindshare on Kaido. So these seem like the two low cap degen AI trades right now, if you do want to trade in this market. Everything else, I'll just kind of keep it on the sidelines, and I would be cautious. And that's basically it. So we've kind of gone through a lot. It's been almost an hour. We've gone through different ways of earning yield in this market. Let me now go through the questions and do some Q&A. Hey, what's up? Let's see here. Greetings from Trinidad and Tobago. Hey, what's up? Can you deposit? I think I answered that. Yes, you can deposit TMAI into the pool. You just have to have the other side of the pool, right? So for wrapped ETH, TMAI, you have to have wrapped ETH as well. For Uniswap, this is on Aerodrome. For Uniswap, you have to have USDC and TMAI. Both of these are 50-50. If you don't want to put up as much wrapped ETH or USDC, you can always just do Balancer, where you just have to put up 5% of whatever TMAI you have, right? It's 95.5%. That's the ratio, and there's a higher APR. They're both, all three work. I read a Tokenmetrics blog on SuiPad being a higher risk reward top low cap pick. Yeah, that was a project we liked last year, but I mean that was before the crash, to be honest, in all of crypto. But basically, it was a launchpad on Sui. Still bullish on Sui. We covered that on the live stream maybe last month, like 3-4 weeks ago. But I don't think it's done much since the crash. Yeah, it's under 3 million market cap. I mean, and it's looking bearish. So I would not gravitate to this right now. Yeah, it's just not doing well. Where's the link? I'm not sure which link you're talking to, referring to. I posted some links in the chat. The one I posted was, I'll repost it again if you're talking about earning yields. I'll post it again in the chat. Or you can just go to Merkle.xyz and just search for TMAI, and that will give you the same. And this shows you the daily rewards being split amongst everybody in the pool. Is peak still a good buy? Not right now. Signal is bearish last time I checked. WLD on Morpho is good. Okay. Top 5 memes. For top, well, we'll use the platform. Although I don't think they're going to be many. So let's say you're trying to find the top 5 memes to trade on crypto. I would just come here. So analytics ratings, trader. Let me just reset all the filters. So add a filter, categories, and we would search for meme. So we want meme, we want Solana meme. I think those two will cover pretty much everything. We want bullish trading signal, more than 1 million trading volume. We want a trader grade over 80%, which is strong buy. We want change in trader grade more than 24. And we'll say max 100 million market cap. And let's see what we get. Boom. We got 4 tokens. Vader AI, which we covered. That's why I kind of already did this for you guys. Here we've got Mubaraka, I guess for Eid. Eid Mubarak to everybody that's celebrating. Resistance Dog tutorial. Now these other 3 I've not really heard of, so honestly I would not gravitate to them. Vader AI looks like a small, quick trade. So I would stick to that. Function Land Fula. Okay, let's look that one up. Now this one I've not heard of. And it says NA for data, so I'm guessing there's not much data. This might be relatively new. So we'll have to skip this. Token Metrics is one of the best websites ever. All right, thank you. Yeah, I appreciate it, guys. And speaking of announcements, I didn't even cover this yet because we just have so many things. It's going to be a busy month for Token Metrics and TMAI. But what I can say is what's coming in the next, hopefully this week, if not next week, because we have a lot of things to announce. But we're launching integrations for ELIZA. So all the AI agents bidding on ELIZA will have access to Token Metrics data. And then also we have an integration that's ready, but it's in the process of kind of being published for Virtuals Protocol. Yes, so all these AI agents on Virtuals will have access to Token Metrics data, and all of them will pay using the TMAI token. So ELIZA, Virtuals Protocol, we have Chainlink functions in the work for everybody building via Chainlink. We have a Zapier integration as well. For those who are really non-developers, you can use Zapier to access our data. So all this is coming. A lot of great things happening in the ecosystem. All right, so let's wrap things up here. Thank you, everybody. As usual, the moon is not the limit to the moon and beyond. Thank you. We'll see you next week. Have a good one.